10 years ago, I divorced my husband. 2 years later, I actually married him again. The same man, nothing about him had changed. I need you to understand that before I say anything else, because if your marriage has gone quiet and you can't understand why nothing you do seems to fix things, I'm about to explain something no one else has been able to. Before any of that happened in my marriage, I was the one doing the chasing. I was the one that called too much. I gave too much. I constantly needed reassurance. And the harder I chased him and tried, the further he pushed me away. So when I tell you what your wife may be feeling while you were trying so hard, I'm not guessing. I live the exact patterns that you are living right now. I was simply the one on the opposite side of the room. Here is what I know about you, because I have worked with many people in your exact position. You are probably great at solving problems. It is probably a large part of how you make your living. You put in the effort and you get immediate results. That approach has likely worked for you your entire career and your entire life until now. This is the first problem in your life that seems to get worse the harder that you try. You've probably talked more, you've probably gone to therapy, you've probably explained yourself, gave more, and continued showing up. Yet somehow, every time she's moved a little further away. And that is the part that is breaking you. It is not only that your marriage is struggling, it's the fact that you can't seem to crack the code and solve things. It is the same skill that's helped you build your career and your life now, and it seems to be making your marriage worse. Let me explain what is actually happening, because it's not a mystery and it's not a flaw on your character. It is a relationship pattern, and it has a name. It's called the demand withdrawal pattern. Researchers have studied it for more than 30 years now. It is strongly associated with marital distress and divorce. It can even be seen in the body as your stress response and hormones may activate before you have decided how to react. Here's how the cycle works. She becomes quiet. You feel the distance, so you move towards her. You explain, you ask questions. Sometimes you make it defensive, and you try to fix the problem that you see. To you, that seems like it's love. To her and her nervous system, it feels like additional added pressure. So she pulls back. And when she pulls back, you interpret it as, I'm not trying hard enough. So you try even harder, which creates more pressure and leads to even more distance. The cycle continues. Your effort is unintentionally fueling the pattern. That is why trying harder hasn't worked in the past. But here's the part that should give you hope. A cycle requires two people for it to continue. You only control one side of the pattern, but changing one side can still disrupt the entire behavioral cycle. You do not need to change her first. You need to stop feeding the cycle. What I created is called the pattern, and it's not therapy, and it's not another program telling you to simply communicate more. It is the same behavioral process that I've guided my private clients through, organized into 4 short modules that you can begin tonight. The first one is regulate. It's learning how to recognize and manage your reactions before it becomes the behavior that continues the cycle. The second one is called communicate. It's learning how to express yourself in a way that allows you to be heard without immediately activating her defenses. And the fourth one is become. Rebuild that grounded and confident man underneath all of the anxiety. Not performed confidence, real confidence. The last one is consistency. Learn how to maintain those changes when she questions or tests you. And she will, because she has watched you previously for weeks, and then you may have started slipping back into old habits. You will receive the complete workbook with every exercise, a practical regulation protocol you can use the next time she becomes quiet, and a 14-day tracker to help you turn these changes into consistent habits. Here is what matters the most, just as much as the methodology. You will not have to do this alone. When you purchase the pattern, you will also receive 30 days of access to the Relationship Reset community. It's a private community of men who are doing this exact work alongside of you. Most men in your position do not have anyone they can speak to honestly with about what is happening in their marriage without judgment. Not one person, which is why we created the community. Because inside this community, you will be surrounded by people who understand what you are going through without requiring you to explain or defend your marriage. Once a week, I also host a live group call where you can bring your real situations and ask me anything that is on your mind about your marriage if you have any questions that are unresolved. It is not a recording. It is a real live call every week for the first 30 days that you join. You will not have to remain stuck or figure everything out on your own. You will have the methodology, the support of other men and me, and a weekly opportunity to bring these difficult moments directly to me. I am going to be direct with you because that is how I approach this work, and that is what saved my marriage. The pattern will not completely fix your marriage by Friday. Nothing will. And anyone who promises that is not being honest with you or ethical. What it will do is help you identify the exact patterns you are participating in, teach you the 4 steps that can begin to interrupt the behavioral cycle, and give you access to a community of men and weekly live calls while you put the process into practice so you have someone in your court and start to implement the process. It is $47. You keep the program and you can begin tonight. You do not need her permission, participation, or belief in the process to get started. That is not a limitation, and it is the entire point. A relationship cycle has 2 sides, but you can only control one of them. Start with the side that you can control. Change your leadership. The bottom is directly below this video. You have already been willing to look at yourself honestly and what is happening or holding you back from the relationship you want, which is more than a lot of other people are willing to do. Do not stop here. I'm proud of you for taking those first steps. I look forward to meeting you.